Welcome back to the Think Bigger Real Estate Show. Back today with another amazing guest. This one is nationally known, potentially beyond that, is going to teach us very specific clues to success. Success leaves clues. He's going to talk about what it takes to win and win over long periods of time. Before I introduce him fully to you, let me remind you that inside the Think Bigger Real Estate group on Facebook, we go deep on these topics. We help you engage. That's where you learn. That's where you transform, is when you engage, when you teach other people. So come join us there inside the Think Bigger Real Estate group on Facebook. Today's guest, his name is David Lykken. For the past 27 years, he's built national mortgage companies and ran national mortgage companies. He has the longest standing podcast in the lending space. And beyond that, he just now has a very successful coaching company. He is the right guy for us to learn from, for us to talk to. David Lykken, thank you for coming on the Think Bigger Real Estate Show today.
Good to be here. Thank you, Justin.
Yeah, my pleasure. Now, you actually have two podcasts, Lykken On Lending and Lykken On Leadership.
Yep. And about ready to launch another one and possibly another one after that. Podcasting is where it's at. Yeah.
Yeah, you love the game. You know, I think it's a great secret. It's becoming less secret now. But I've developed, in fact, I'd love to ask you this question. Obviously, you're adding more podcasts. What's your favorite part about being a podcast host?
Connecting with people. It's the most amazing way to do that, because you look at how busy our lives are, and you find a way. We need information. If we're serious about our careers, we need information. So we find people that provide that information, and a podcast does that. The more successful you are at providing the information and doing so in a way that has good energy, connects with people, you have a larger audience. The larger the audience brings more opportunity. And so we found ourselves here, and we enjoy it.
I would have to say the same thing. I often get asked, like, are you glad you started your podcast? And this has been probably 3 years ago that I've started it. I started it. And yeah, it's one of the best ways. I think it's a personal growth plan. It's a networking plan. There's all kinds of benefits in addition to impacting other people. Yeah. And hearing some wonderful comments that absolutely warm my soul. What you just described there are also some of my favorite reasons for doing what we do.
Yeah, good.
David, let's talk a little bit about this concept that of how to win over time, right? Oftentimes people talk about like I'm gonna have a great quarter. I'm gonna have a great year. I'm gonna have a great second half of the year, right? We're talking on July 1st, which is the second half of this new year. I can't believe it. Yeah. And a lot of people have those kinds of perspectives, right? Like how am I going to win for the next 6 months and really finish the year out how I want to? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But then I also want to jump to, what does it take to win over a 27-year iconic career?
Yeah, well, it's actually 47 years. I'm turning 71 in August, so it's been a long journey. But I learned early on. My dad was an inspiration to me, and he read inspirational materials, connected me with Zig Ziglar a long time ago. Zig said, and one of the statements he's famous for, I'm not sure he certainly made it famous. I'm not sure he's the one that actually created the statement or the statement originated with him. But he said, how you become successful is helping other people achieve what they want. You'll achieve then what you want. So what I have found is, and that's why I started my career 47 years ago, I found helping people achieve home ownership is probably one of the most rewarding, transformative things you could do for someone's life. And that's what I've made a career of for 47 years. And now I do that through coaching and consulting. Been doing that for the last 20 years. That's probably where you got the 20-year part of it. And I love making a difference in people's lives. And the way you do that is connecting with them. And again, the podcast works well. At least it's a way to cast a big net, find out if my voice, my approach resonates with those. For those who it does, they call me. For those that it doesn't, they don't.
Yeah, I love that. Great approach of like cast a wide net and see who you can serve, right?
There's that, and then I love a laser focus too. So I have a wide net in certain regards, but then who I choose to do business with, then that starts everything else. So everyone that comes to me, I don't particularly always choose to do business with. It's not that they're bad people or anything like this, but what I find is alignment and engagement. There's, have you ever had one of those conversations and you just feel like you had it, Justin, and you didn't connect. You just didn't get that feeling that you were heard or that you understood where they're at. They're confused in their message. Something just wasn't working. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are relationships that, if you beat yourself up trying to make something like that to work, you're not going to be most likely have success at the end of that. So find those. So I cast a big net to draw in and get the population from which I will then laser target. And those are the ones that you can make the greatest difference in.
I think, again, because this audience is primarily residential real estate agents, I think that there's a lot of wisdom in what you just described right there of like, be known, right? Be known in your area. Everybody should know who you are. But then those people that you really resonate with, who match your energy, match your thinking, go laser focus with them. Is that what I hear you saying? And would that be the proper application?
That is really the secret sauce that I have applied. I mean, cast a big net, get out there, get a good name. I mean, and how you do that is providing information, helping people achieve their objectives. Now, the ones you choose to actually engage with, those are the ones that align with you. And I think it's like whether it's hiring an employee or engaging with a client, there's just certain people that are meant to work with others than others are not. And so wherever you're picking your engagement, whether it's a spouse, whether it's an employee, whether it's a prospective a client, find the ones you engage with. There's people that each of us uniquely resonate with. And when we're resonating with them, Justin, life is a whole lot more fun because you're talking to people that get you.
Would you say, David, that a lot of the reason why people maybe don't win or they don't win sustainably over time is because they try and serve too many people rather than taking on that strategy that you just described there of, again, being known in all the places that you should be known, but then being willing to say, that's not the right person, actually saying no to other people so that you can say yes to the right people. Would you say that that's a clue?
That is a clue. It's called the law of scarcity. If you create a certain amount of scarcity, I can only serve a few. Let me interview you to see if there's a good alignment, because if there's not, I'm not going to be able to help you. And I'm sure there's someone who can. And by that, it changes the dynamics of the early side of the engagement. So what I do is I create scarcity by saying I can only handle this many people. And I, therefore, am wanting to be respectful of your time and want to make sure you achieve the success you want. So let's sync up here. Let's get some basic foundational principles. This is how I operate. Does that work for you? How do you operate? Does that work for me? And once you create that alignment, you're going to draw people. And what's so interesting about that, Justin, is there's a sense that it's a privilege to work with each other. It's not that it's a privilege for them to work with me, but it's a joint, equal privilege. We are privileged because you could say we get each other, or we just align each other. And those are valued relationships. It's interesting. 47 years ago, I did mortgage loans. I'm still friends with some of those people. Some of the first mortgage loans I did 47 years ago. That's amazing. So, and it's because I learned the principle of connecting with the right ones and not trying to be all things to all people.
Again, I think there's oftentimes the scarcity mindset, right? As opposed to the law of scarcity, there's the scarcity mindset, which oftentimes will cause people, right, to not want to turn down any opportunity, right? Yep. Like they don't want to turn down anything. It's like, I can't say no to this person. Or you have people who on the other end of the spectrum, maybe it's more ego driven as opposed to scarcity driven. It's ego driven of like, I'm only selecting these people to work with. What I hear you saying is kind of more somewhere kind of right in the middle, David, where it's like it's not ego driven, neither is it scarcity driven, but it's alignment driven. It's really taking.
Yeah. And the reason maybe the scarcity isn't the right term, and I apologize, I'm not sure what's going to the webcam, but I know it doesn't seem to be showing up there. So I'm used to doing audio all the time. So that's what I do all the time. I didn't show it off, folks, I promise. When the scarcity part it is alignment. And what I'm trying to communicate right here is that when I'm working with someone, I want to have alignment. The reality is I can only serve so many people and serve them really well. And that is the scarcity part of it. That creates that. So when you create that, then all of a sudden it's not like I'm pursuing. I always said I learned everything I needed to learn at a high school dance. Every time it seemed like I wanted to go pursue someone and I wanted to go dance with them, I chased them away. It's creating a dynamic. Hey, am I good? Are you a good dancer? Am I good for you? That type of thing. It's I know I'm not sure that's the best metaphor. My wife thinks that's a crazy one, but the reality is it's just getting good alignment, make sure there's a good connection, cast the wide net. But do you even know? Most people don't, Justin. This is when I start coaching people and I go, what is the right customer for you? It's a customer with a checkbook who's ready to buy. I'm anybody who's ready to buy a home. That's right for me. And I go, no, that's not. How many people are out there wanting to buy a home or wanting to get a mortgage? It's the ones that are right for you. And when we get that, it's really interesting how we draw. It's the law of attraction. So we are attracting those that we have that mindset that are going to be the right ones, and life gets a lot easier and a lot better.
Boy, so well said. You're right. I oftentimes will hear that, right? Is it like, hey, a customer with a cash customer, that's my kind of customer. Whereas that's not really what you're talking about. You're really talking about some other form of personality match, right? Values match.
It's a values match. It really is, and that's a great term, Justin. It's a values match. Hey, the webcam's back. How about that? So anyway, the values when they're matched up, and people say, well, but I need more business. Well, it's amazing when you define what your values are, and you start asking them what theirs are, and they start realizing the connection. Then you'll have a result that is oftentimes, and they stick your relationship in a better result in the end. Let me give you an example. I used to go into homes when I was taking mortgage loans, Justin, and I would come through the front door and I would ask, why are you wanting to purchase this home, or why are you wanting to refinance this home? And I got right to the point. And I may have started off by saying, I'm not here to be your friend. If we can be friends, that's great. I want to know why. What is it? What is the reason for you setting up this meeting? Well, we're looking to purchase this home. I said, why? I want to get in and connect with their why. And they go, well, we're expecting a baby, or, we have a parent that's coming in, or we've done real well and we just want to move up into a bigger home. All the reasons someone's moving up into a bigger home. So I lock into that, because what happens is I then says, I'm going to qualify you for this mortgage. If I give you, when I walk out of here in about 20 minutes and I give you a thumbs up, you're going to get this loan. You can go to the bank on it. Start getting ready to move. We'll get this accomplished. I created a sense of accomplishment, but I also created a sense of the engagement that happened is I'm not here to play around. If I need documentation, or my staff says I need documentation, here's the deal. I will give you what you want, which is this mortgage. But what you, and the journey there, you have to give me what I want. And that is, I need this documentation. And as we get into your credit file, into your profile, we may find there's things that we didn't know that we needed until once we're into it. I need to have a commitment from you, a contract from you, that you'll get me that information immediately. That's the kind of alignment. And if I don't get it immediately, I'm going to say you're not serious and we're not rightly aligned. So there's a sense of successful people, Justin. I loved working with successful driven people, because they go, you know what? I think we could be friends, but that's down the road. Right now, I like the fact that you are all about me getting this home, and it's not trying to wow me or get to like me. We'll get that figured out down the road. We're here to get a job done. I want to be the person that introduced you and I is Jessica Peterson. Jessica is like this. She is so laser focused on what is it that you want to achieve as your goal and objective. And Justin, when you start looking at successful people, it's those that are laser focused. They cast a big net to draw people in, to pick out who you're going to work with, but then they become laser focused with the right alignment on the right individuals to achieve success.
You've identified something, David, and I know we're about out of time. But you've identified the fact that I believe that the value proposition requirement is changing in our industries. Is that it used to be, who do I know? Who are my friends? That's who I want to support. And I think people are realizing that there's a greater need to be more careful and be able to choose somebody who brings real value. And then from that person that brings value, then the friendship comes later. It's business first, friendship later. And I think a lot of agents that want to work by referral, they end up starting with friendship first and then business value later. So they end up giving away much of their time for free, building friendships when they're not getting paid to be friends. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't be friendly.
That's
And I'm
right.
not saying you shouldn't also build great relationship, great friendships from your clients, but don't confuse the two up front. You're there to help people with something very, very important to them and their family's financial future. And you can produce that similar great situation for you and your family if you cut to the chase and find out, how do I serve people at the highest level? And then let's become friends should this all work out, right?
Yeah. If you do a good job, you always have the opportunity of friendship that can come out of it. But we're all here to do a job, buy a home, help you finance a home, somehow around home ownership. And really, when you think about the big picture, what an exciting thing to be involved in people's lives. And it is a very serious, it's the biggest transaction for most people that we're doing business with. So take it seriously and treat it like the top professional that most of you are.
Wonderful clues to success. I want to jump to the signature question of the show, David, before we wrap up. But I know that you have the opportunity to let people know about a coaching offering that you have, right? You have a coaching company. You don't have unlimited space in there, but you are looking for a few more individuals who kind of fit. What would you describe if somebody's listening to this and they're like, man, I think that's my kind of guy. I think that's what I'm missing in my life right now, whether it be one-on-one coaching or whether it be group coaching. What would this person kind of like, what does your ideal coaching client look like?
It's someone who absolutely has clear goals and objectives. I'm exploring this, or I'm thinking about this. I can help people sort through that. I have a whole team that will do that. But it's those that have a clear focus. I want to achieve this, and they have a clear why behind it. When I start with every client, if they do not have a clear why I want to achieve it, a clear objective and a clear why, and that resonates with me, and there's good alignment on that why, it's going to be difficult for them to get my attention. So if you're interested, if you have a clear goal and objective in mind and you have a clear why, then give me a call. I'd love to talk to you. If you're sorting through that, love to continue. We have a group of people within our team that will help you sort through that. But that's the key for me is, do you have clear objective and do you have a clear why?
What's the best way for people to contact you, David? If they're listening to this right now and they're like, yes, I know what and I know why, I just need now help getting there.
Yeah, well, then that's where we really specialize, is the process of actually getting them there. We have a great track record for those where we have good alignment. Best way to reach me is David at TMS, stands for Transformational Mortgage Solutions, TMS-advisors.com.
Perfect. I just put it in the show notes here. I would encourage anybody that if this resonates with you, again, send an email to David and see if there's alignment. David, the signature question of the show is this. You are a big thinker. You've proven so across years and decades of being a top producer, of being not only someone who's successful yourself, but helps other people be successful. What does David Lykken do to continue to be a big thinker, to continue to expand your personal possibilities, for you to continue to grow? What does that look like?
You've got to keep asking questions. That's the number one thing. I am a podcast junkie. I love going to podcasts and getting information what's out there. If I'm looking at investment, I'm going to go find the best investment podcasts are out there and the ones that resonate with me. So be constantly hungry to learn. Do not quit. I'm turning 71 in August, and I am got more fire in my belly for the next 50 years of my life than I had in the first 70 years. It's because I really believe that I can achieve anything I set my mind to. And the beautiful part about today is there's so many resources, Justin, to be able to draw on to achieve those goals and objectives.
What a powerful perspective. For anybody that's at the 70-year mark thinking like, yeah, it's wind down season, listen to David, folks. He's just getting started. He's just getting started. This is like this second chapter is getting ready to be unveiled right in front of our eyes. So David, it's been such a pleasure to spend some time with you, learn from you today. And thank you for giving of your time. Again, for any that are looking for a coach like David described, then this would be a great opportunity for you to reach out to him. Be sure to check the show notes. It's there, his email address to reach out to him. And my final request of everybody listening here today are these three simple words. You all know what they are. They are go think bigger. David, thank you for helping us do that today, my friend.
Appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Wish you all continued success, Justin.